Hey, welcome back, everybody. We are back for another episode. It's our second episode of the Say It Out Loud podcast. I am your host, Pat Graham. With me today, I brought back one of my guys from last week, Bobby O.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Pete will be back, but he is out for the day, stuck at work. Boo. All good. Quick shout out. Before we get started, got a quick shout out to my guy over at Couch Coach Live for having me on. We went IG Live earlier today, my first one. We talked about the NFL schedule, the games we're looking forward to the most, broke down our team schedules, stuff like that. So if you can, give him a follow. It's at Couch Coach Live. The IG Live is up. You can view it with his story. So if you go to his page, it's up. So yeah, quick shout out to him. Real quick, next week on episode 3, I'm going to have my guy Kevin. Me and him are going to be going over the full NFL schedule. We're going to tell you who's making the playoffs, who's winning the divisions. We're going to go over team totals, team win totals, who to bet on, who to stay away from. And then lastly, if you are a new listener or you're coming back from last week, if you can, go ahead, follow, like, subscribe on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Podbean, and Stitcher. I'm going to keep doing these regardless, but I love getting feedback and suggestions. It's nice to know people are listening. Give us criticism, anything you need, any suggestions you have for us. We do read them, so there you go. All right, well, let's get into it. Tonight we're going to cover UFC, but, Bob, what's going on with your week? What'd you do this week? Anything cool?
I've been working all week, every day, in the heat.
Did you see any murder hornets?
Not a single one.
No?
Not one.
Are you nervous about them?
Not a chance, dude. I've been stung by a bee or a wasp since I was like 9.
Same, man. I got hit, so I hit a nest when I was little.
Right.
With a broomstick, and that's the last time I got stung.
Probably not the greatest idea you had.
Right in the temple.
Ooh.
It hurt. And I stepped to one.
Yeah.
It's not good. It wasn't a murder hornet, though. It was just a little bee. But this whole murder hornet thing has got me, it's insane. I don't know.
I don't think we'll ever see one.
No.
No. I don't think they're just out there stinging people like people think. I haven't been stung by a bee, a wasp, anything in 15 plus years.
Right. All right. Enough with the dumb talk. Did you see Reggie Miller wants a statue?
What, in Indiana?
Yeah, Mark Jackson was. Well, I don't know if Reggie Miller wanted it. Mark Jackson was on the other day, and he was talking about how Reggie Miller needs a statue in Indiana. What do you think about that?
I think worse players have statues, but I don't know. Reggie's super famous, so they'll probably build him one.
Right. So my thought,
but I mean, they didn't really ever accomplish anything in Indiana. So I mean, what are they celebrating?
Yeah, right. They don't have an icon. He's kind of the iconic figure, right?
For Indiana,
one of them for the Pacers franchise. Like when you think Indiana, you think of Reggie Miller. The choke sign with Spike Lee.
That's probably why people would. But I mean, there's other. I mean, Jalen Rose is probably just as big in Indiana as Reggie was.
No. So Miller has a statue in the Children's Museum, I think it is. I read.
In Indiana?
In Indiana.
He in there holding a baby, or what's he doing?
No, he's just in there. It's Reggie, dude.
Where they got a statue of him shooting a jumper, or what?
That'd be a fitting one.
I mean,
one of the best jumpers ever. I think so. When I first heard it, I was kind of had your same reaction. I'm like, why? If they build it for Reggie, then we're gonna have statues everywhere.
Hey, do you remember when we went to the Pac-12 title game and I called him Cheryl Miller? How mad he got? Do you remember how mad he got?
He gave you a look. He turned around and everything.
Well, you heard me.
Well, you also called Josh Smith, right?
Yeah, not the Josh Smith from Atlanta, though. I'm talking about the Josh Smith from UCLA.
Yeah, he told him to eat another cheeseburger?
Yeah, he was not happy with me.
No, he stared you down a minute.
Yeah,
he was in the game and looked at you.
We were sitting in the front row, so he could have got to me, but...
No, it was sketchy.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
But, so there'd be a ton of statues if we gave Reggie one.
If Reggie gets one, they're building them. 32 franchises are building statues.
Right. Like, I was thinking John Stockton and Malone. They have to have one. If
they both get one in Utah.
They might have one. I don't know. I don't think so. But you look, who's getting like the Charlotte?
Joe Johnson's getting one in Atlanta.
Yeah, ISO Joe.
He's getting one in Atlanta.
Right. So I'm not mad at it. I'm sure Pete might have a different take. I don't think he's a big fan of Reggie, so we'll have to find out what he says. So got that UFC. Before we get to UFC, did you see the Mike Tyson video?
Oh yes, this guy at 53 is a monster.
Is he gonna come back?
I mean, he'd already said he's coming back. I think he came out and said he's going to fight exhibition fights for charity. But, I mean, who is signing up to fight Mike Tyson for charity at this point? I'm not getting in there.
How much money would it take you to fight him?
None. I'm not doing that. I mean, it's charity. You're not getting the money. It's going to charity.
Say if it's not for charity, how much would it take you to fight him? First, say your goal is to stay alive for 3 minutes and you can't leave the ring though.
I need Floyd Mayweather money in there.
That's it? 100 mil?
Yeah, easy. I'm not. That's wild, bro. Did you watch the video?
Yeah. No, I'm asking you. I asked you if you saw it.
If he hits you with one of those, how do we do?
Yeah, but I mean, if you stand there and let him hit you, you're dead, probably.
I don't think we have a choice.
You would be in charity. So it'd be for you.
I would go from fighting for St. Jude's to being in St. Jude's.
Right. But I'm saying, yeah, I guess that makes a good point. So if it's the money's going to charity, you would be in charity, so therefore the money would be going to you.
Yeah, I guess to pay for my hospital bills.
If you stayed alive. But anyway, the Mike Tyson, if he comes back, I have no idea who's going to
So he's been offered a bunch of different deals. He was offered $1 million to fight some rugby guy, and then he was offered like $20 million from the Bare Knuckle FC.
I think Bare Knuckle.
Dude, I think he agreed for the Bare Knuckle FC to fight Shannon Briggs, who's the next heavyweight boxing champion.
So I saw a little bit. That was Jake Paul's trainer or Jake Paul's trainer.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He trained
but
for
that dude's
fight.
the next heavyweight champ.
Right.
But he's also like I don't know, just a showman, and he's always online, just doing wild shit.
There's no chance it's Bare Knuckle. It'd be cool to see him fight two guys at once.
Well, I mean, two regular guys, I guess.
That'd be cool. But anyway, the Mike Tyson thing, share what you think. It's going to be wild.
I hope he comes back. The dude looks like he's in phenomenal shape.
No one's fighting him, though.
I'm not. Do
you think Wilder would fight him?
I want to see Brennan Schaub fight him.
Schaub's not fighting.
He's
in the
out of retirement, dude.
bike club. Thick Boy Bike Club. Have you seen that on his...
Oh, what was his name on there?
Thick Boy Bike Club.
His name on the Peloton was like Thick Bun or something Bunny Thick. Did you see that?
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh, dude, his name on for like the Peloton thing was something hilarious.
I did start riding a bike though.
You did?
Yeah, I'm not thick though. It's thick.
Yeah,
it's 3 C's.
Brendan Schaub's put on a few LBs.
Schaub's an animal, dude. Shout out Brendan Schaub.
I don't think he's in the job. He's in the gym very much.
He's got some good bike riding.
He's in the job every day.
He's in the bike. He rides a bike, dude.
He don't look like it.
Callan hates him. He keeps posting pictures of his bike, always ripping him.
Well, Schaub tried to get Callan to buy him some $13,000 bicycle.
Yeah, Schaub got one. I think they sponsored it. Okay, enough of this. Let's get into the card. We're going off the rails. We're already a few minutes in. All right, so this card is loaded. If you guys aren't aware, the UFC is back, which is a great sign.
This card is
We got about, what time is it right now? 6. So we got about 20 hours until the early prelims, and even the early prelims are pretty good for early prelims. So first fight on the card is Ryan Spann and Sam Alvey. The odds, Spann's minus 420, Alvey's plus 320. And before we even give you picks, let me preface this by saying we are not professional gamblers. Most of our friends said we're terrible, but we're going to make picks. We're not advising you to follow them, but
sometimes we win though.
The last couple cards, I've been doing really well, but
yeah.
So have you
that New York card? Why was that?
You the last two, one. I've made a couple hundred. I don't bet a lot though, so it's not really high reward. So I did a little research. You have a take on Alvey, right? You think,
dude, Sam Alvey at plus 325 is so much value. It's I'm betting it for sure.
So I'm not betting anything at minus 420.
No, nobody would bet
especially the opening. It's the biggest odds disparity on the card as the first fight.
Right, and I'm not betting a parlay with Alvey in it. I'm betting Alvey just single bet straight up.
So, and on DraftKings, this is the biggest disparity also. So, Spann's 18-5. Alvey has a ton of experience. He's 33-12. Alvey's lost 3 in a row. Spann's won 7 in a row. Alvey likes to knock people out. It looks like 58% KO rate.
Yeah, and he stuffs takedowns all night long. And
then both these guys, I think Alvey's probably fought the biggest name, the bigger names, because he's fought 45 times. Spann is the only one I recognized in his fights was Little Nog. It wasn't a big Nog, it was Little Nog, and he beat him. But that's not saying much. When I first looked at this, I would just say blindly bet banned, but I'm not touching it. The odds are too crazy. I'd probably actually bet Alvey.
I
put $10 on Alvey just for fun, but
Alvey beat Rashad Evans. That's a big name, and that's not recently. That's 3-4 years ago.
He was kind of at the twilight. Either way, but yeah. So it'd be an interesting fight. We'll see what happens. Bob's got Alvey. I would take Spann if I had to choose. All right. Next two guys, Bryce Mitchell and Charles Rosa. Odds are pretty close on this one. Both of them. So 165 minus 165 Bryce Mitchell, plus 135 for Charles Rosa. One of them's 12-3, one of them's 11-3. And these records too might be a little off because I use SureDog.com, UFC.com, and those are the two I use for records. And sometimes they're a little off. Maybe they use some pro fights, some amateur fights. I don't know, but either way, they're pretty close. This one is going to be a submission, in my opinion. So Mitchell is a 73% submission finisher, while Rosa's a 64. Mitchell does 0 knockouts. Rosa's got 27% knockout. Rosa's fought better opponents. He's fought Yair Rodriguez, Shane Burgos, is it Burgos or Burgos? Do you know?
Burgos.
You know what I'm talking about, though?
Yeah.
He's the last couple fights I've seen him, he's pretty good. Rosa took 2 years off before winning the last fight.
Yeah,
back.
That's tough.
But after losing to Yair, I think coming back and winning his last fight, I think that gives him a little bit. Bryce Mitchell's fought. I didn't even recognize the name on his 12-3 or 12-3 record.
Most people won't.
So
he's not a household name.
For me, I think I would take
losing to Yair is not a big deal. That guy's a monster.
I think Rosa's the pick. I'm going with Rosa. He's not in any of my official bets. I have a couple parlays in. I'm not taking him, but if I had to choose, I'm taking Rosa just by fact that he has a couple knockouts. They're both submission artists. It looks like Rosa has more ways to win, and he's been fought more.
It'll come down to who pushes the pace,
right?
Who
and
dictates.
I didn't do that much. It's the early prelims, but I'd take Rosa. Any take on that?
Nah, not really.
Who would you take? Blind? You taking Mitchell just to go against me?
If I had to bet the fight, I would take Rosa just because it's plus money.
All right, so we're both on Rosa.
This main event of the prelims, early prelims, though. Nico Price, this guy was hot, dude. Everybody was talking about this dude.
He's insane.
Everybody was talking about this one in the UFC.
Every fight I've seen him do is just unpredictable. If that's a good word for it,
dude. Absolutely, and he lands strikes from this wildest spots.
Last fight,
yeah,
up kick.
He's got and he's in that, and then he's landed knockouts from the guard. He's done this wild shit.
That last fight against who did he knock out with the up kick? Was it Vic? James Vic, right?
Was it Vic?
Yeah, he pulled guard and then he was on bottom, and Nico Price up kicked Vic right in the chin. Went to sleep.
It was James Vic.
Vic's been getting knocked out. Still, to up kick anybody.
James Vic's on a bad streak. He's been some highlight reel knockout victim for a while.
Yeah, him, Rockhold, all those guys. But
yeah,
back to this, Price is wild. He's insane.
He's fun to watch. He's real flashy.
That's why this fight's going to be real good.
He's an underdog. Nico is, but Vicente Luque is really good.
He is solid.
Solid.
He beat his last fight. I remember watching. Oh, his last fight was Stephen Thompson, but Thompson looked amazing. That was on the same card as Masvidal Diaz.
That was also Thompson coming off of a fight where he was absolutely dominating Pettis and got knocked out. And he was absolutely dictating the fight, pushing the pace, landing the strikes he wanted to land, and he got caught by Pettis. Right. And it was the first time Thompson's ever been knocked out.
Right.
Nobody had ever knocked him out.
So Luque, Thompson looked awesome that fight. So it's not really a knock on Luque.
No.
The fight before that, I remember watching, it was him and Mike Perry, which I like Perry because he's like
Perry's flash
blood.
He's flashy. He's fun to watch.
He's going to bring the heat. So I remember watching Luque and Perry, and that fight was close, and they gave it I think it was a split decision to Luque. So Luque, I feel like, is more controlled than Price.
Yeah, Mike Perry also isn't winning very many decisions.
No, he has not.
He has to knock you out.
I think Price's record is 14-3, Luque's 17-7. The odds are pretty far. I like Price, but I'd have to take Luque just because he's more controlled.
I would bet Luque just because he's just a more refined fighter.
Right.
Nico's this flash, and people love to watch him, but there's not really a lot of. I won't say he doesn't have skill because he does, obviously, but he's just exciting to watch. I think Vicente will shut that down. He'll dictate the pace, slow it down, and just.
Right. I think I read so Price hasn't been to the third round since 2016, I think.
Yeah, and that's not from winning every fight in the first 3 rounds. That's from getting.
He just hasn't been there.
Yeah.
So, and Luke, his cardio is like he went full 3 with Thompson, I think, unless they might have stopped it in the 3rd, maybe, because he battled. I think it went full. I think it was a unanimous decision. I know he went the distance with Perry because I remember had Perry in a headlock. He was bleeding everywhere.
Yeah,
it was a split decision, but
yeah.
I just think Price, and I'm not saying Price can't win, but I would take Luke.
Price can win. I mean,
Yeah.
he's got a bunch of tricks in his bag, but Vicente is just too solid.
Right.
So
So
well-rounded.
right. So those are the early prelims. Those start, I think, 3:30 on the West Coast. I'm gonna watch. I might watch. I'll probably watch that last one for sure. But I ain't gonna lie. I'll watch all of them. So
Dude, the prelim fights, that card is stacked. It's basically a pay-per-view card on the prelims.
fight night. I would give it a solid fight night.
No, Pettis Cerrone. Cerrone's not
It's
a
not
fight
a
night guy.
not a pay per view anymore.
I don't know. He still is, dude.
We'll see. All right, first prelim fight: Uriah Hall and Jacare Souza. Hopefully, I'm saying this right. Odds on this one: Uriah Hall is an even money. Jacare Souza is minus 130. 15-9 versus 26-8. I mean, this one. So this one is my snooze fest. Obviously, I'm not counting the early, but this is my snooze fest of the entire rest of the fights.
Yeah?
Yeah, the rest of the card I feel like is going to just be fireworks. This one, I mean, I did a little. I didn't do a ton. I feel like it's just going to go. It's going to go the distance. Nothing's going to happen. They're going to hit each other. There's no chance of knockouts. And that's just how I feel. Uriah Hall's never been submitted. Souza has 14 of his 26 wins or submissions. So either something's given there or.
Souza's a monster in jiu-jitsu, but he doesn't use it till he has to. He stands up.
Right.
He fights everybody that way. And he's on a bad skid. But, I mean, he's due for a win.
Yeah, I think he's lost 3 out of the last 4. My printer didn't print all my notes, and I don't feel like using my phone right now. But he fought some really high-level talent. I think he knocked out Chris Weidman.
Who?
Souza?
Souza?
3 fights ago, I
His
think.
last fight, he lost to Jan Blachowicz, who's really good.
Before that, he lost to someone else, but the fight before that was Weidman.
He beat Weidman.
He beat Weidman, but was that when Weidman was Weidman? Or was that when Weidman, Rockhold, and all these guys were getting KO'd every fight?
They were. Weidman, but I mean, Weidman was coming off. I think Weidman was coming off a loss where he
lost his belt?
caught the knee to Romero.
Yeah.
That wasn't the title fight, though. He had lost his belt a while back.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's my snooze fest. I think if I had to choose, I think I would probably go Souza.
I think Jacare wins, too.
Uriah Hall.
Uriah Hall, I don't think he beats Jacare.
Yeah, the odds are close, but I think Souza's coming back. He has to win this fight if he wants to extend his career. Uriah Hall is always in the 10 to 15. Like, it's weird how he wins.
They're both gatekeepers at this point.
It's always they're
both going to be ranked
between 10 and 20 forever.
Well, I mean, the divisions are ranked 1 through 15. They're both going to be ranked between 8 and 14 all the time.
Even if they win, like whoever wins this might be ranked. I think Hall's they're 10 and 14 right now. So
yeah. So I mean, they're guys that are. If you want to come into the division and try and make your way to there, you're going to have to fight one of these two or both.
They've been good at that. I mean, they'll do whatever. They're just getting older. They're going to have to pass the torch on.
They're just.
I thought Souza. I thought he's been out. I haven't seen him fight in a long time. I had to watch a couple, but
he's good, dude. He was way up there, fighting Weidman.
He was. I remember him back in the day.
He fought Romero.
He is older. I think he's 42.
Romero's the Mike Tyson of the UFC. I'm not fighting that guy either.
Stop. He just looks. He looks like a ninja turtle.
He's
got a shell on his back. Monster. It's insane. All right, let's move on to Carla Esparza and Michelle Watterson.
This is one of my favorite fights.
So Esparza's favored minus 145. Watterson's plus 115. The records are similar, 15-6 and 17-6. I know that you love this fight. So go ahead.
I do. I like it a lot. Michelle Watterson struggles against wrestlers, and I think this fight she doesn't. I think she picks Carla Esparza apart. I don't think it's a finish, but I think Watterson wins this 30-27. Just absolute domination.
So so Esparza's a wrestler, right?
Yes.
So it's weird because in my research,
Esparza was the first chick in that weight class to ever be the champion. coming out of Tough.
Right. So Waterson's last fight, she fought Joanna.
Yeah.
And she went 5 full rounds.
With Joanna.
And I don't know if you guys...
And we just seen what Joanna
Weili
and Weili are about.
That was probably the top 5 fights I've ever seen in my entire life.
So, I mean, Michelle stood there for 5 rounds with Joanna.
Yeah.
And Joanna
and Joanna probably wasn't what she was against Weili for sure. Because
she's still Joanna.
She's still, she got hit. I mean, it wasn't a scrub. But the interesting stat I found was like so Esparza's she attempts more takedowns, gets more takedowns, but Waterson was like, she had 8 or 9 submissions, victories. So almost 50% or over 50% of her victories came via submission, which is crazy because Esparza like shoots more, takes more down.
Esparza's a straight, she sets her takedowns up with striking.
So she gets a takedown, she just don't finish?
She just comes out.
That's what's crazy.
She uses her striking to try and get takedowns.
Just to score?
Yeah.
Not necessarily
and win rounds or ground and pound you. Esparza's like always a top 8 or 9, maybe 7, somewhere in there, but she's not going to go out.
Yeah, there's 7 and 8. There's 7 and 8 right now.
She's not going to go beat a top 5 ever or 4 ever.
Right. It was just weird to me that Waterson had the more. It seemed like she finished more. But Esparza, do you think Esparza's going to take it to the ground? If she had,
she's going to try. I think that's 100% the game plan.
Even with that, knowing that Waterson will finish 50% of her fights plus from submission.
But I think Carla's like super confident in her wrestling ability, and like Carla's not getting you down and submitting you; she's getting you down to ground and pound you.
True.
So I mean, if Waterson gets up, then Carla's gonna get exhausted trying to take her down and take her down and take her down.
Right. I agree with you. I think I got Waterson in my parlay.
Waterson's an underdog, and I think that's a terrible.
Yeah, I thought the odds crazy. After doing what the research I saw Waterson, I just thought that was a good bet. So I have Waterson. That's my first official bet I think that I have. So I'll go over my parlays, even though if you want tail, if not, don't care. No, all right, so Waterson. I have Waterson. You got Waterson. All right, so let's move on to this is one of my favorite fights. Alexei Olenek and Fabricio Verdum. Verdum's coming back. Olenek's plus 245. Fabricio's minus 325. And these odds, like I said, are from BetUS. They've probably changed. I got them last night. Minus 325 Fabricio. Fabricio is 23-8, and this is this might be my favorite thing of the card is Alexei Olenek is 58-13.
Yeah,
he's fought 71 fights.
Yeah, but they're not all in the UFC.
I don't care. He was 40,
probably out
don't matter.
in Russia fighting Bob from Kinko's. You know what I mean? Dudes who work day jobs and fought on the weekend.
Was he just walking down the street sleeping the mailman?
No, they're fighting cards on the weekend.
This dude.
I like Olenek.
He's putting him to bed. I'm telling you, he's sleeping.
You think he wins at plus 250?
His nickname is the Boa Constrictor.
I get it, but Verdum's a jiu-jitsu machine, dude.
He's been out since March of 2017.
Doesn't mean he hasn't been in the gym training jiu-jitsu.
This is my favorite bet. No, not really. Plus 245. Obviously, I'm taking a chance, but. I think I'm a little biased.
I don't see Olenek submitting Verdum.
I'm a little biased because Olenek was one of the guys I bet last card in my parlay that won me some money. And I will bet him until he retires just because of his name is the Boa Constrictor. Give me a break, dude.
I don't see him submitting for Fabricio Verdum.
Someone's going to change their name to the Murder Hornet, and I'm going to bet them too.
Oh, that guy would be a fucking star right now.
Oh, but anyway.
Connor goes from the Notorious to the Murder Hornet.
Oh, dude, are you kidding me?
To fight Khabib right now.
Everybody would even hate him more or love him more.
Khabib doesn't want that fight.
He doesn't want Tony either. That's why all of a sudden he's ready in 2 weeks.
No, now he's saying like September or October.
He tweeted
he said Ramadan. He gave
time.
The dates.
May 23rd. Ramadan's over and he's ready.
He said 8 weeks after.
Fine.
He said May 23rd,
if that was the deal,
8 weeks I'm in.
If that was the deal before this fight was booked, no way Tony's fine. 8 weeks. I'll wait 8 weeks.
Okay, so if Tony wins, it's Tony Khabib.
Facts.
Right?
Yeah, 100%. It has to be.
Tony loses. It's not Gaethje Khabib. It's McGregor could be.
Oh, we'll get into this later. Let's get through these.
Gaethje is not. There's no chance. The only way that happens is if Conor fights like Masvidal.
Let's get into. Hold on. So you like Verdum?
I do like Verdum. Yeah.
I'm not going to overanalyze this. Olenek's going to put him what's the choke?
He's not submitting Fabricio Verdum.
Yeah, he is.
No.
See, I had a lot of good points. I think one of them was Verdum's never been submitted.
He's a monster
and,
on the ground.
So Verdum's never been submitted, and Olenek has 46 submissions. Something's going to happen.
Something's going to give, and it's not Verdum.
The key is going to be the layoff, I'm telling you. Ring rust isn't a thing for certain guys. I think it is for other guys.
Dominique will tell you it's not real.
Dominique will, but I don't think
Mr. Cruz will tell you ring rust is not real if you got 8 weeks to train.
Well, I don't know. Olenek's putting him to bed. Boa constrictor rules. All right, so I got
get to this main event.
I got Olenek. Dude, we got a while. Pettis Cerrone's the next one, dude. Pettis is minus 145. Cerrone plus 115. 22-10.
Pettis beat him
back how long ago? I remember
it was a while ago. Pettis landed a kick right on Cerrone's liver, and it just shut Cerrone down.
Yeah. Cerrone's fought 50 times. Obviously, he wants to fight 3 times this week.
He said something about it, but
there's no way that happens.
If he goes out tonight and he just lands like a rear naked in the first 30 seconds,
they're not putting him on. Dana already said no.
Some guy drops off 3 in the next day or 2. Cerrone's already on weight.
Oh, if he's already drop out?
Dude, he's in. If he's already on weight,
he's in
now,
Jacksonville.
Yeah, he's there. Dude.
He's going to be in the crowd with his gear on.
Cerrone's
waiting for
ready
someone.
After tonight. If he wins quick, he's ready to cut weight to fight in 3 days.
Let's get in the fight. Do you think Cerrone wins quick?
I don't know, dude. This fight's wild. I don't want to pick a winner in the fight because I like both. Yeah. I don't want to see either lose. Both these guys are like at the tail end, like just chipping. If they have any chance to fight for a title whatsoever, they have to win this fight. I don't think either of them will fight for a title.
Yeah, that's not happening.
But
in that division,
I mean, that division. Neither of those guys are getting above Usman. Like any
that's
of
the
those
other one.
guys.
McGregor. No, both those divisions are stacked.
Yeah,
they better go on a slim fast diet. They got to drop down to Cejudo.
They're not getting down to Cejudo.
I know. I'm just saying
they get it down to like Poirier if they
they'll
want
be
to
on
fight for a title. But
both these guys are legends. Showtime Pettis and the Cowboy though. You got to go with. I'm going with Cowboy.
I don't think
they're the same fighter.
I don't.
Both these guys are real similar. They're both on skids, but if you look at the skids, like Cerrone fought Gaethje, McGregor,
and Ferguson,
in the last 3 fights. Are you
3 straight wolves? I don't know why Dana would feed him to those 3 guys, dude.
Full said the wolf. I love this. I can't believe it came up. I tricked you.
Why would Dana feed him to those 3 guys in a row?
Minnesota Timberwolves.
Oof.
Wolves. Dude, have you New Girl? Have you seen New Girl?
No.
They taught Schmidt on New Girl.
I've not watched. Never watched the show.
That he says wolves.
Wolves.
Like you. And he said I watched it last night. It's great.
What do you say it differently?
No, he said the same thing.
How do you say it?
Wolf.
Wolf?
How
many? More than one wolf. What is it?
Wolf.
More than one wolf.
Wolves.
Wolves.
No, not wolves.
Wolves.
There you go. Say
wolves?
No. Say
wolves? When you would put the L in there? Is that what you're getting at?
It's a wolf.
You knew what I was talking about.
I love you. I love this. Fuck, you're not mad, right?
No, absolutely not.
The Minnesota Timberwolves. Anyway, back to the story. That went off the rails a minute, but I love that. I finally baited you. I told you it was going to happen.
Cerrone got fed to 3 straight monsters by Dana White.
No,
and
it's the Wolves.
It's because Cerrone doesn't say no to a fight.
Right, but that's why the fans love him. But and the Cowboy hat.
Dana goes, okay, who can I feed to these guys that will draw me the most numbers? Oh, that's right, Cerrone.
But he asked for them. It's not like he's like
Cerrone's not asking for these fights. Cerrone's taking these fights.
So, but he has the ability to turn it. That's why
he don't turn down fights. That's why Dana offer him whatever is not in his favor.
He'll offer him any. It doesn't matter though. If you take those fights. That's why they love him, though, dude.
They love him. That's why they hate Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz doesn't take fights that don't work for him.
He doesn't take fights. Is it the money aspect too?
No, I don't even think it's the money. Nate doesn't take fights that he doesn't. If he beats somebody, it doesn't do anything for him.
Nate's a gangster too. I love Nate.
Nate's an absolute superstar, and Dana hates the fact that he is, because Dana's got to cater to him at some point. And he did it with the New York card with Masvidal. Dana would have rather had 5 other dudes fight that fight.
You don't think they
But it
squashed
was
it at all? It's
Nate.
just Nate's an animal. Though. I love
Did
Nate.
Dana
Shut
and
up.
Nate squash anything?
I don't think there's beef between them.
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
sure there's a little resentment.
Absolutely. Dana hates the Diaz brothers.
Hate is a strong. I think
he
they
respects
disagree.
them. I think he respects
You
them,
have to.
but he hates
He's
them.
a savage.
I think he finally realized that Nate is a superstar, and
Right.
Nate gets to
Yeah.
dictate what he does. Nate doesn't have to
you
take fights.
Nobody has to do anything. It's like,
There's some guys out there that have to take fights or don't
feed.
get a fight. Nate doesn't have to take a fight.
Yeah, I guess
They can they can offer Nate fights nonstop all the time.
Does he ever come back?
Nate?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nate fights again. Nick claims he's going to fight
He ain't
again.
fighting, dude.
Claims
He's been
all these things.
Stop. But no, we better be careful, dude. These fools will drive here and beat
I
us up.
love both
in
the
the
Diaz
in
brothers.
our-
I absolutely love them both. They're both absolute gangsters.
Good thing we live in North Carolina. They'll never find us. All right, shout out Diaz brothers. We love you though. Nick, come back. All right, so Cerrone Pettis, who you
I
taking?
hope Nick comes back. Cerrone Pettis, you want to take him?
Yeah.
Pettis.
Yeehaw!
Pettis.
Was that a good voice? Yeehaw!
No.
We're taking.
You sound like
I'm
the dude
taking.
you sound like the dude from South Park right now.
the
That's who you sounded like right now. I swear to, am I wrong?
I didn't watch that show, bro.
Oh, you sounded like the dude from South Park
I
right now.
thought. You know what? Yeehaw! Do you remember the dude on what's that show? Mad TV. Stewart. Hey, look what I can do.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
That fool's a set. Look what I can do, and he'd do his stupid little jump.
Oh, I
my
can't
bad.
remember who the dude
Sorry,
on South
listeners,
Park
but-
was. Yeah, let's do it.
is
Mr. Hanky, dude.
I sound like Mr. Hanky. All right, well, you say wolves, and I sound like Mr. Hanky. We're even.
Everybody
All right,
knows
bro.
who I'm talking about, though.
I got Cerrone. You got Pettis. We'll go over our final picks at the end. All right, into the main card, dude. Greg Hardy, Jorgen De Castro. Dude, monsters. Minus 210 for Hardy, plus 165 for De Castro. I mean, there's not a lot of data to go off these dudes. They just knock people out. 5-2 for Hardy, 6-0 for De Castro. I'm taking De Castro because nobody should use inhalers in the ring.
This is an absolute repeat of Ngannou Derek Lewis. Snooze
No
fest.
way.
Snooze fest.
You think so?
Absolutely.
It's possible. I was so mad watching that fight.
Hardy probably wins the fight. This is an Ngannou Derek Lewis snooze fest. You will hear boos during this fight. Well, I mean, you won't hear them because nobody will be there.
Right? Yeah, there's no fans,
yeah,
bro.
no fans, but this is a fight that gets
Dana
booed.
is Dana there? He's booing.
Dana probably.
You'll hear Dana.
Joe
booing.
Rogan probably boos this fight, and he
Commentators
loves
are booing.
everybody.
John Anik's taking a nap.
Yeah, Daniel Cormier is going to try and
Is
go
it
in there and fight.
Anik's in there? It's Anik Rogan, the normal, right?
I don't know who's going to announce the fight. I would
Probably
assume Joe Rogan
Anik, and Cormier.
and Cormier. Yeah. Well, I mean, Dominique Cruz is going to be out there winning the title, so he's not going to be on the mic.
My skin's crawling now. All right, so
Preview.
So you got Hardy. I got I'm taking De Castro. The last two of Hardy's fights both went to decision. One of them,
One was a no contest
lost-
because he grabbed the inhaler.
yeah, I think did he win?
No, it was he won the fight, but
And
it was
then they took it back,
overturned
right?
to a no contest.
Yeah,
His
because
coaches told him it was okay.
So I don't care if my coach tells me something. You don't use an inhaler.
He thought it was okay. His coach told him it was okay.
You can't do that.
Dana didn't know.
You can't use an inhaler.
Dana didn't know till they told him it was no, and then Dana said, "Why did you guys know the
A
rules?"
tool to help you breathe better.
Well, I
in
mean,
a
what, are you going
fight.
to go out there and die?
No, like I said before, that's like if I
It was
went.
in between the first and second round. It wasn't like he was gassed.
It doesn't matter what round it's in. So first hole, PGA Tour. I walk out with a baseball bat.
Yeah,
I
that's
pick
not
up the golf
same.
ball.
That's not
I
the
toss
same.
it in there and I smash the ball.
This isn't like-
and it goes 500 yards.
He didn't drink a
Ho-
fucking red line before he jumped into the first round.
No, but there's things you know about. Like if I walked up to,
They didn't know.
I mean, this wouldn't help you. But
They
if I
didn't know.
can you take a golf club up to in Major League Baseball? Can you take a golf club up
Why
to try to
would you
hit?
take a
No, I'm
golf
saying it
club?
doesn't help. That's a disadvantage. But is that a legal move?
I mean, they probably let you do it. It's not performance enhancing.
Okay, that's a good point.
If you want to go out there and swing a golf club, Mike Trout, have at it, dude. You're batting 155 next year. If that.
How about 0.15?
Yeah, something.
My point is, you can't use an inhaler during a fight. The other one his other fight went to decision. He had that one fight where he kneed the guy in the head, Got disqualified, DQ'd.
DQ'd.
So I'm kind of betting just based on
At some point, he's going to have some wins, dude.
he's 5-2 with one. I think one was disqualified. The disqualification. I don't know if that's in there. I thought he lost to. I don't know. I thought he lost. I think he's 5-2 with the disqualification on top of it.
He lost the first fight ever, right?
I don't know. He knocks people out. Don't get me wrong, but DeCastro's 6-0 with 5 knockouts.
I'll tell you right now, the Cowboys could use him.
DeCastro or Hardy?
Hardy.
Hardy's an animal. So I'm taking DeCastro. You got Hardy? Knockout or decision?
Hardy decision. This is
Another
snooze fest.
decision?
This is an Ngannou, Derek Lewis snooze fest, dude.
So how many punches? Over or under 100 thrown?
Through 3 rounds?
You said it's a snooze fest, not me. I think there's way under, and I think DeCastro's sleeping Hardy.
He's not sleeping Hardy.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah, Hardy doesn't have his inhaler.
He won't need it now.
Yeah, because he's going to be sleeping. He's going to need his inhaler, but it's going to be have to wake him up.
No.
All right. We disagree on that one, finally. I'm taking DeCastro plus 165. All right, next one. Jeremy Stevens, Calvin Kattar. You got Stevens at plus 200, Kattar at minus 260.
Stevens missed weight by like almost 5 pounds.
Power.
3 times now he's missed weight.
What's the results of the last
He's 2-0
two?
in the he's 2-0 or he's 1-1 missing weight. His last one he knocked out. I can't remember who it was.
Well, he's on a 3 fight. I think last fight was Yair, right? He lost that one.
Before that, he fought Yair and it was a no contest. It was an eye poke.
And then
before that, he lost
Zabit.
to like Zabit. Before that, he lost to Aldo.
That's what it was, Aldo and Zabit. But both these dudes fought Zabit. Both of them went to decision. But Zabit he wouldn't even. So Zabit was a main event. Do you remember this?
Yeah, Zabit's a monster.
He was a main event with Kattar.
Right.
But Zabit would not fight him 5 rounds. He told him no. And for some reason, the UFC
it was short notice.
No, he wouldn't take the fight unless it was 3 rounds. It was a main event. And they said, fine. But Kattar was ripping him because I remember in that fight, I was in Vegas and I was trying to bet on Kattar, but
I wouldn't do
Zabit's he gassed out 3rd round.
Everybody in
No, they said it, but he doesn't have the tank to go 5 rounds. That's why he won't take the fight. He wins the first 2 off points, runs out of energy.
He's fought
and gets,
main events though.
No,
he's fought 5-round fights.
I don't think.
He fought Uriah Faber in a 5-round fight.
Yeah, Ryber's 50.
But
I don't think he did, dude. Look that up as we're talking.
He might not have went 5 rounds.
Yeah, I don't think he's a point fighter. He's not. He's got those legs.
Zabit's. They say Zabit's a pound for pound top 5.
I don't care about pound for pound because they always say the little guys are pound for pound. It's John Jones. All those guys are pound. Pound for pound means nothing. But anyway, I'm taking Steve. I think Stevens knocks him out. He's got more.
Stevens by knockout.
By knockout.
He knocked nobody out since 2016, dude.
So I got the under. I didn't bet the fighter. I think this fight is going to be. They both absorb punches and they throw a lot. So they're just going to go at it. I think this is the fight of the night.
Jeremy Stevens hasn't knocked anybody out since Connor asked, "Who the fuck is that dude?"
So Connor's in his head.
Everybody. I think his whole career ended that day.
Stop.
Connor said,
Maybe.
"Who the fuck is that guy?"
That was one of the best press conference moments ever.
Since that day, Jeremy hasn't ended a fight since.
Yeah, I got the under 2.5 rounds. I think they're just going to go to war. I think this, if it wasn't for the main event, I think this could be the fight of the night.
Oh, I don't know.
It's action for
fight
sure.
of the night's the main event, no matter what.
Probably, yeah.
Gaethje's gonna march forward.
Whoever wins this fight's getting a bonus. I'll say that.
Fight of the night bonus.
One of the see they're getting
knockout
a bonus, maybe knockout bonus, fight of the night, something. They're getting whoever wins this fight.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying. But if I had to pick a fighter, I'd say Stevens. I think he has. I guess they both fought. Stevens has fought 45 times. Kattar's fought 24. Stevens has been in there against some tough guys, but he knows he needs a win.
That's Zabit's last 2 fights is Stevens and Kattar,
and they both decision, right?
Yeah.
So I would take Stevens. My money's on the under 2.5, but I can see Kattar winning too. They're just gonna throw blows and it's gonna be wild.
Well, if they just go out there and throw blows, Jeremy Stevens probably wins the fight.
So who are you taking though? Who's your lock it in?
I'm gonna take Kattar to win this fight. Jeremy Stevens hasn't won a fight in a long time.
All right, there you go. One's on Stevens, one's on Kattar. My bet is on the under. All right, now we get in the last 3. We got Francis Ngannou and Is it Rosenstruck or Rosenstruck?
Rosenstruck. This dude is the hottest heavyweight on the planet right now outside Stipe. Rosenstruck is like 10-0, 9 knockouts, 1 decision. He just finished off Alistair Overeem. This dude is on a crash course with Stipe, and he's going to walk through it, Francis Ngannou.
Walk just first round?
He's first or early second round, Rosenstruck knockout.
Okay, so yeah, Rosenstruck is 10-0. Ngannou's 14-3. Ngannou hasn't lost since so that Derek Lewis fight. When I was looking at it, I think the Derek Lewis fight opened his eyes because since then he's had 3 straight first round knockouts. I believe that's correct. He's just destroying people. Last 3, I think, were first round KOs.
I think Ngannou?
Ngannou. I think the last 3 were first round. You can fact check that. Correct me, but I think the last 3 were first round KOs. Rosenstruck is a monster.
Dude, he's the hottest.
The last fight wasn't impressive. He was losing until literally, I think there was 9 seconds left when he knocked Overeem's tooth through his lip.
Absolute W.
But it's a W. You're right. It's a W. And Ngannou had a fight like that. That Lewis Ngannou fight was probably the worst fight I've ever seen in my life.
So Ngannou's last 3, I'm pretty sure one of those was Cain Velasquez tearing an ACL.
Okay, you're right. That was 2 fights ago.
Okay. And then
his knee gave out. It's still first round finish. If you're gonna discount the fact that Rosenstruck knocked his teeth through his lip with 9 seconds left, and he was losing that fight.
That's why they got a time limit, and that's why they wait till the bell rings.
Right. I agree. I'm taking Rosenstruck too, just because of the odds. Both of them are. I didn't know Rosenstruck was the same height as him.
Dude, he's a monster.
They're both 6'4". They're huge.
I had never heard of this guy until I went to New York for the Diaz-Masvidal fight.
And he slept Arlovsky and like...
Dude, and the guy behind me, this guy JJ from Boston, told me before, like, you better bet this dude. He's on a crash course for Stipe. And this is like over a year ago. And I'm like, who? And he fought that night, and I saw it. I was like, damn, this dude is good.
Yeah, I was like,
and I've been watching
this,
and I'm like, dude, this guy's a monster.
Yeah. Ngannou's no slouch, so I could see Ngannou winning, but with the odds, I took Rosenstruck plus 210. They're both 6'4". Ngannou's got the weight difference, but Rosenstruck's a kickboxing champion, I believe.
Yeah, and he's I don't think he's ever going 5 rounds, so this is a 3-round fight. I think it favors him.
Fair enough. So we're both on Rosenstruck there. All right, so now to the co-main. Henry, the king of cringe, Cejudo.
King of cringe. The dude is an absolute joke to me.
He's a WWE guy. So
he's the WWF champ of the UFC.
So he's minus 230. Dominic Cruz plus 180. Cruz is 22-2. He's fought twice in 7 years.
No,
because he took 3.5. Oh no, he went on a run, then took another.
Yeah,
he's off for 3.5, 4 years right now. Whatever it is, he's on a long hiatus. He's coming back. He wants to fight. They don't like each other.
Cruz says ring rust isn't real.
I think for him it does. Like, he's so smart. I think that's why it doesn't matter.
Well, he dances. His footwork's
picks
money. You apart. I don't think Cruz is knocking Henry Cejudo out.
No,
but I think he picks him apart for 5 rounds.
So I got this is my mortal lock.
You're taking Cejudo as your lock?
Yeah, Cejudo. Cruz hasn't been fought in 3.5 years. So there's one. I think there's more ways to win for Cejudo. I think the only possible chance Cruz has is if he moves in, hits, and runs, and he could do that. I'm not going to say
he's got the best footwork in that division.
Dillashaw had great footwork, but he's cheating. But end of the day, I think Cejudo at that price, if he was like minus 300, 350, I'm not taking him.
Cruz is like the Lomachenko of MMA.
Stop.
That's what his footwork is like.
So, I think let's talk about. I can't stand him. The
WWE is an absolute dude. It's cringe. It's cringe-worthy all the time.
Awful. Like Colby has a shtick.
Dude, did you see today? He came out with a bunch of pillows with Cruz's face. He's kicking him in the crowd.
Yeah.
And then there was fights in the past where he acted like a magician.
He's pulling out of his hat, rabbits out of a hat.
Come on, bro.
He belongs in the WWE. He'd be good at that.
Triple H called this dude, get him out of the UFC before he goes on a 5
He's won 5 in a row. That's it. And they're in different weight classes. Last time he was getting wrecked by Moraes in the first round, which the comeback was impressive.
He fought the Dillashaw fight. I will say he won the Dillashaw fight. Early stop. But I don't think the outcome is different if they let it go.
No, but
Dillashaw was hurt, getting caught.
Correct.
If they let it go for 20 more seconds, Dillashaw still gets finished.
I think obviously, I don't know when he's back, but if they fought Dillashaw, he's good. But if they,
Dillashaw's a cheater, though.
It wasn't. So is Barry Bonds. Who cares?
Well, Barry's in the Hall.
I guess
of Fame
they're in fighting.
Barry got to get in the Hall of Fame.
He's not though. But
should.
But anyway, the reason I'm taking Cejudo, I don't see a path to victory for Cruz other than touching him and running.
He's going
to
win a 5-round decision.
All right, so you got Cruz by decision.
50-45.
I got Cejudo as my lock of the night.
No way.
All right, we'll see what happens. All right, main event. Tony and Gaethje.
Tony Ferguson.
Do you see Gaethje? Obviously there's a
Gaethje is an
possibility.
absolute monster. If Gaethje had any self-control,
He's shown that the last couple fights, though.
if he did, he had it. He could go on and win fights. But he gets hit, and it just turns red for him, and he marches forward. He's taken strikes more than anybody else in the UFC per minute. And Tony Ferguson, if you go back and look at his last 6 competitors, they're all mangled. Tony's going
doctor stoppages.
Tony's picking him apart.
The last 2 were doctor stoppages, right? Cerrone and Pettis? Or did he fight someone in between?
Kevin Lee.
Yeah, no, he's won 12 in a row?
Yeah.
So
Tony Ferguson hasn't lost in like 7 years.
The problem is, so when I was looking at it, I think Ferguson gets hit too. Like I hope Ferguson. I'm rooting for Ferguson. I like Gaethje. I'm rooting for Ferguson because I don't want Khabib to escape him.
Khabib's dodged.
Social
distancing this fight for 6 years.
Now
he's got Dana. I don't know how much he paid Dana to come out and take the blame for this fight not happening.
Right. I want Tony to get his hands on Khabib. So I'm rooting for Tony. I love Gaethje too, so I won't be mad either way.
I think Tony picks this fight apart, and at some point he turns Gaethje into a wrestler, and then
Tony
probably
submits him.
Third round
Submission.
Tony submits him, and I'm calling it Darce choke.
Yeah. I think Gaethje. So his 2 fights he lost. He's 21-2. His 2 fights he lost were back to back. Eddie Alvarez, Dustin Poirier. Both of them were after the second round.
But it's because he marches forward
Right.
and he eats strikes.
Yeah.
And those guys are
Tony eats strikes.
patient enough to just pick
Just
them
those
apart.
2. So Tony eats strikes. If you look back at all the fight,
If Tony's marching forward, he does eat strikes.
So, but you can't eat strikes from Gaethje. But I think Tony.
I don't think he eats them because he's not going to march forward against
I think
Gaethje.
Tony. That's what my whole point is. I think Tony's smart enough to realize that
to let Gaethje march forward,
stay out of danger for 2 rounds,
apart.
pick him apart, stay out of danger, and then it
turn Gaethje into a wrestler.
3rd and 4th and 5th rounds, if it gets that far, Tony can turn it up and get the job done. But if Gaethje lands one, I'm not saying it's not possible. I have Tony in my bets just because I think that's the game plan.
I got Tony too.
He's smart enough to
Tony can't afford to lose this fight.
Oh, I mean, Gaethje does have. Gaethje can lose, and it's not really going to affect him.
That's what I'm saying.
If Tony loses,
cannot lose this fight.
He loses.
Tony loses
Khabib.
this fight. He never gets Khabib. He probably never
Eventually
gets
could.
Connor.
No, they'll still book. No, I don't think he goes that. He's not going to drop out of the rankings.
If Tony loses this fight, Connor is getting Khabib. They're getting the rematch.
No, Gaethje and Khabib will fight. The other thing,
and Khabib,
they have the same managers. So that's
Gaethje's
interesting.
never getting a title shot over Connor.
It's for the interim title. You can't.
This is for the interim title.
You're not
fighting Khabib is not for the interim
That's
title.
for the title.
Gaethje's not getting that fight.
But he just
Connor
hangs
gets that fight every time.
No. The winner of this fight's getting. The winner of this fight's
Dominic
getting.
Cruz is getting this title fight.
No, it's because there's nobody else to. Peter Yan is the next title.
Peter Yan should have got it.
He's the next title.
Dominic Cruz is getting it because of his name.
Because of his name.
Exactly why Connor would get the title fight over Justin Gaethje. Who sells more tickets? Gaethje Khabib or Connor Khabib?
But what other options are there at Cejudo's division? What are you going to put in? There's Yan, fine, but he's not up there. But they were going to give
Peter Yan should have got this title fight,
right? Based on that, but he's got to beat he beat Uriah Faber last time. They were going to give it to Aldo. He just got beat. They were going to give it to Aldo based on name, and then something happened where he's stuck in. I think he's stuck in the country or whatever.
Stuck in Brazil.
Either way, the winner of this fight's getting Khabib. That's my prediction.
I don't believe so. I think if Ferguson wins, he gets Khabib. If Gaethje wins, Connor gets Khabib.
All right, so let's go in. So official, you want to run down? You got like a parlay you want to?
My bet? What I'm betting?
What would be your like 3 or 4 fight?
I did make one bet.
You already made one?
Yeah,
So I got 2. So what? Go ahead. I'm pulling up mine right now.
I made a 4-teamer. I got
Go
a
ahead.
4 or 5
4-5er?
parlay. Yeah.
All right, what is it?
I got Ferguson,
All right.
Cruz, Rosenstruck, Karate Hottie, Michelle Watterson.
Oh, okay. So I got Rosenstruck, Ferguson, Qatar Stevens under, and DeCastro. That's 1-4-teamer. And then my other one
I have one straight bet. I have Sam Alvey.
You got Alvey?
That's a straight bet. Nope, I didn't put him in any parlays.
Very first fight. All right. And then my other one is I got Cejudo, Cerrone, Boa Constrictor, Olenek, and Michelle Watterson.
Oof.
Both of them pay pretty well.
Oof.
15-1-ish. So anyway, that's it. Like I said, next week I'm going to have my boy Kevin on. We're going to run down the NFL divisions. I'm going to tell you who's making the playoffs, who's winning divisions, who not to bet on, and things like that. That'll probably come out Friday or Saturday, and that's it. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe,
thanks for having me,
follow.
dude.
Yeah,
Thanks for having
anytime,
me.
buddy. You follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, soon to be Twitter, Stitcher, all those things. Give us comments. I encourage fan feedback. Thanks. We're out.